There's a principle in cybersecurity that we call defense in depth. This is also called layering sometimes. It's sometimes likened to a castle. If you think about a castle and how a castle is built, you have maybe a courtyard outside the castle, and then a moat, and then a wall with some big gates there, and then on the inside you have maybe an inner courtyard, and then some spaces, some working spaces, and then some living spaces, and then finally on the very inside you might have the king's throne. So the king is protected among all these layers, and you would have to get past all of those layers in order to get to the king. Well, the same idea occurs here in cybersecurity. At the very center is our data. That's the thing that we're trying to protect the most. So in order for the bad guy to get to our data, they have to get past the policies and the procedures. They have to get past, and we don't have it here, but they have to get past the people, the guards, right? They have to get past the physical grounds. So we have a physical layer that they need to get through to penetrate that physical layer. And then the network perimeter. When you see the word perimeter here, we're not talking about the fence around the grounds. We're talking about the network perimeter. So they need to get past those routers at that perimeter. Then they need to get through that internal network. There's more routers, switches, firewalls, and so on at the internal network. And then they need to get to the host itself, the computer that houses that data. Once they get to the host, they need to get through the application, the programs that house that data. And once they get through the programs, then they can finally get to the data. So you can see that it's very difficult for the bad guy to get all the way through. They have to drill all the way through all of these layers in order to be able to get to that data in the center. Now, there's a problem with the castle analogy that can be likened to this analogy, or to this scenario, and that is, well, what about the cook? The cook usually has a back door that they can just open up to throw the garbage out, for example, or to accept the food coming in. That back door might make an easy entrance for the bad guy to get into. So we have to make sure we close all the back doors, so to speak, as well, so that anybody that comes in has to go through all of these layers in order to be able to get to our inner data. But that is the defense in depth concept.